Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome. Y a todos mis amigos boricuas, bienvenidos, aficionados al box, al Coliseo Rubén Rodríguez en Bayamón, Puerto Rico. Tenemos una gran noche de boxeo. Well, fans, a big night of action. Undefeated Champions is brought to you by PR Best Boxing in association with All-Star Boxing, el municipio de Bayamón y su alcalde, Ramón Luis Rivero Hijo, Dodge, X100, and El Nuevo Dia. Well, fans, at this time we present a bantamweight attraction, scheduled 4 rounds of boxing. Introducing our judges, presentando a los jueces, Eliud Rosa, Hernando Steidel, and Luis Ruiz. And the referee in charge, el referee es Ismael Quiñones Falú. All right, fans, here we go. Bien, amigos, presentando una atracción especial a 4 rounds entre pesos gallo. Introducing to you first on my right, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black trunks, he weighed in at 118 pounds. Presentando en la esquina azul, con un peso de 118 libras. His record, 3 wins, 6 losses, with 6 wins coming by way of knockout. Check that, 3 wins coming by way of knockout. Su récord, 3 victorias y 6 derrotas con 3 ganadas por knockout. From Denver, Colorado, introducing Jairo, el Gallito Negro Delgado. His opponent across the ring on my left, fighting out of the red corner. Wearing black trunks with silver trim, he weighed in at 119 pounds. Y su oponente en la esquina roja, pesando 119 libras. He is undefeated in his campaign in the ring with a record of 2 wins, no losses, 1 win coming by way of knockout. Su récord, 2 victorias sin derrota con 1 ganada por knockout. Aquí está el equipo olímpico de Fajardo, Puerto Rico, el invicto McJoe Arroyo. Once again, a referee in charge, el referee Ismael Quiñones Falú.
So the referee Falú brings the combatants to the center of the ring. Arroyo is a tough fighter. This kid has 120 some odd amateur fights, represented Puerto Rico in the Olympic Games. He has a tremendous amount of ability, Benny. His brother McWilliams also on the card. We'll see later on tonight. But Delgado, as you take a look at the tail of the tape, everything is in favor, basically, for Arroyo, in that the heights are about the same. The age difference is 5 years. The weight doesn't make much difference, nor does the reach. But I think that Delgado's going to have to start fast and try to just bang with this guy right away and do the best he can, because it's obvious to me that Arroyo, we saw him in his professional debut a few months ago. He's a very slick fighter. All right, here we go. This is round number 1. It's scheduled for 4 rounds.
And McJoe Arroyo is the heavier of the 2 twins, McWilliams being the other one. And he's the southpaw. McWilliams is the right-hander. He was won the bronze in the World Amateur Games, also in the Central American and Caribbean Games. Also won bronze in the 2007 Games. And trained by Anthony Otero is the guy now in charge of the careers of these Arroyo twins.
Arroyo with the silver trim on the black trunks and the white shoes. Delgado in solid black, both the trunks and the shoes. And you see right away the southpaw Arroyo with that nice stiff jab in the face. He sets up, lets Delgado come in. You see how quick the feet are. He avoids, he bounces right, bounces back to the left. He sets up, lets Delgado set up in front of him, then he goes to jabbing. He goes to the straight left-hand lead that time. That's the power shot for the southpaw fighter.
And you know, and he's 2-0. He's got 1 knockout. He says, you know, I don't come in looking for a knockout. And now Delgado doing exactly what you said he should do, and that is put the pressure on early. Delgado's coming off a loss against Luis Rosa in his last fight, unanimous decision loss.
Yeah, for him, Benny, just put your ears back, let it fly, do the best you can do, because you know that he wasn't brought here to beat up Arroyo in the first place. He was brought here as an opponent And, you know, prize fighters have the sense of mind, I don't want to be an opponent, I can beat this guy. And the only way really for him to beat him with the difference in skill is to do what he's doing right now, and that's try to pressure Arroyo. Arroyo's too slick, though. When you try to pressure him, he bounces right back, he pulls back, sliding off to his left. He doesn't come straight back. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes, and that's from all that international competition he had as a amateur fighter. I mentioned 120 amateurs. Benny told you about his Olympic background. And other amateur fights he had. After the Olympics, he decided to stay as an amateur for another year to work on honing his skills and become a heavier puncher. And I think it's worked out in everything that we've seen. This guy's a very slick fighter in his second pro fight.
Without a doubt, but he's in good hands now. The Rivera brothers, Ivan and Peter Rivera, are now managing him. And they always look every 4 years for some of the top amateur guys, and these two guys were at the top of the list. So they signed him up, and here they are. There's good left hand right there by McJoe Arroyo.
McJoe trying to get himself totally under control. He caught him with a good shot, but he's a disciplined fighter. Look at that combination. And Jairo Delgado says, come on, keep coming at me. I'd keep your hands up if I were you, Delgado, and try to box with this guy. Don't make any gestures. Don't make a mad guy mad.
And the only knockout of Delgado's career is a one-round knockout over Eric Bradford, and that's been it for him.
He began his career 2-0, and then he's had 6 losses and 1 other win in his career with just that one knockout. But he's getting through the first round here with McJoe. McJoe not pressing anything, just working, doing what he does best, just outboxing him in the first round. And Delgado a little fiery at the bell, ending round number 1, but that's Arroyo's round.
An athlete. Here's some of the action there from round number 1, Colonel. The left hand right there by McJoe Arroyo. Delgado trying to make it look like, no, I didn't feel that shot.
The way to answer that is to throw something back and not say, hey, it didn't hurt me. Here we go. Round number 2, scheduled for 4 rounds. The Colonel Bob Sheridan here with Benny Ricardo. We're at the Ruben Rodriguez Coliseum in Bayamon, Puerto Rico. About a half hour outside of San Juan. And the venue is packed tonight. Seats about 12,000, pretty close to that, jammed in here on a rainy night in the Caribbean.
And right there, that wasn't really a punch. He stepped on his foot. McJoe, which often happens when you get a southpaw and an orthodox stance. The step in, if you watch their feet, the right feet of Arroyo and then the left foot of Delgado. Watch how often that tangles up.
Of course, the idea is to work the front foot to the outside, but often, as Benny said, you'll find the more dominant fighter stepping on the toe of the less dominant fighter, and this is the case with McJoe Arroyo and the silver trim on his black trunks to the right of your screen now with his back to you. McJoe right on top of his guy. He wants to turn it up just a notch, but he's letting Delgado, throw a lot of punches and not getting hit by too many by Delgado.
Yeah, but the thing where Delgado's going to make the mistake is when he goes straight back. When he goes straight back, that's when Arroyo can step on his foot and also hit him, and it's tough to see that. It almost looks like it's the punch.
Well, right now, McJoe is right on top of him. Delgado has to hang on because he's starting to feel some of the power of Arroyo. Arroyo now with his back to you, sliding off to the left of your screen with that right hand held high. The southpaw looking to drop the hammer of the left hand on the face. Instead, he goes fishing downstairs. He wasn't really set up to throw that punch. Nice stiff jab by McJoe. And there's the straight left hand. That's the one he wanted to land. And that hurt him because you're going to immediately see Jairo Delgado have to hang on.
And you know what I like about the McJoe and both Arroyo brothers is how tight they are. I mean, that shot goes out and it comes right back. He cocks it. He's ready to go ahead and throw it again. Very, very well schooled.
Well, down here in Puerto Rico, and it's the same in Mexico, a litany of fighters. I mean, boxing and baseball are the sports down here, even though basketball has come on in recent years, but it's got a long history of boxing, and these guys know how to fight. They're well-trained, they're well-conditioned. There's a lot of ex-fighters that are good trainers, and this is just another example with McJoe Arroyo and his brother, whom I mentioned you'll see a little bit later on this evening.
And both of them are from Fajardo, Puerto Rico, which is about 40 minutes from here, so they have a huge following here.
And don't forget, we're kind of tolling the accolades of McJoe because we know the fighter. We saw him in his professional debut not too far from here in February, and we're very familiar with his tools. We also know the record of Jairo Delgado, and we know why the brothers Rivera brought him down here, and that's not to advance Arroyo too quickly as a professional, but test him along the way. So this is what they're doing, and so far, so good. Tough being a promoter and a matchmaker and all, but they've done it great. There's the bell ending the second.